on web design and why it's important. I've been a web designer for 20 years. I started with a degree in graphic design and then cut my teeth on oil company intranets. Aside from the porn industry, they were one of the first sectors to take advantage of the internet. Then I moved to Ecuador, where I set up an internet cafe, and it was the beginning of email, VoIP, and social media, so it was interesting to see how people took to that. When I returned, I worked with the estate agent Douglas & Gordon to create their first website and online property listings. It was when Prime Location was setting up, so they felt they needed to be online, but they didn't think they'd get much business from it. A year later, a third of all their inquiries came from the web. In 2000, I set up my own business, specialising mainly in the property sector, building and designing websites. 2007, moved to Suffolk. 2012, joined Infotech, where I am now creative director and head of property. I was going to move on, sorry. The skills I bring to the table are as an artist, designer, fledgling broadcaster, and mum. The artist in me is inspirational, conceptual. The designer is more structured, consistent, logical, sort of visual problem solving. The broadcaster is I'm constantly immersed in the internet and I'm writing, researching, discussing about what the industry I'm in. And the mum has, I hope, taught me patience and helps me deal with unruly clients. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about web design. We all want good web design. No one actively goes out to get bad web design. But what exactly is it? Can anyone tell me? What do you think the design? You've all got websites. What do you think web design is?
Something that's easy user and attractive to look at.
Thank you.
Oh, well, Abby now.
Is that easy user?
Attractive to look at, visual, easy to use. Exactly right. Is it? Is it about how you present yourself? Is it about the information that you provide? What you put on there?
You're trying to promote your brand and therefore promote yourself, so you're hoping that it's going to be a visual accompaniment of what you are.
Presentation. And the final one that people might not get, but is highly important, is intended outcomes, what it is the website is trying to do. I will take you through these 4 points that are the main points of web design. So we start with visual appeal. Kate Moss has visual appeal, as does iPads, iPhones, most things by Mac. England on a summer's day. It's what draws us in, what makes us want to be part of it. It's the look and feel of it. But it must be targeted. For example, if I'm designing a website for social housing, it's got to have great visual appeal, but it's going to have a very different look and feel than if I'm designing a website for Russian oligarchs. Like I said before, though, web design isn't just about visual appeal, it's about how it works, what we've said here. Steve Jobs said there's a common misconception that web design is just a veneer. It's not. It's more than a look and feel. It's about how it works as well. And I think that's why today I'm trying to talk about the importance of web design more than just something you look at. So then move on to usability. Usability is a really jargony word for someone that's not in the industry, but basically it means the experience a person has when using a man-made object or application. How easy it is to use, how intuitive, how useful it is, or how it makes you feel even. If you take chairs, they're man-made objects. They come in different shapes, sizes, colours, tastes, styles, but they all have one common objective requirement, and that is that you can sit on them comfortably, we hope. Websites are the same. Obviously you don't want to sit on them, but they come in all different shapes, sizes, colours, styles, tastes, and they have one common requirement, and that's that you can use them comfortably. If you can't, then you're not going to use them again, so it's obviously quite important. Usability is quite difficult to get right. I often see overcomplicated searches or unfamiliar language, hidden content sometimes. Well, actually, I don't see the hidden content, it's hidden. But in fact, one time I saw a newsletter. It was from an estate agent, but it was more about the weather than it was about their property. And to top it all, not only was it more about the weather, but then the largest link on the newsletter was to find out more about the weather. So you have to get it right. We all want a sunny day, but there is limits to it.
Well, as an estate agent, if it's raining, you obviously wouldn't go out.
So maybe you're all with this good data that presented the weather. I'm going to move on to presentation. How do you present yourself? What do you wear? Obviously you wear more than that, or I hope you do. When you go and talk to a prospective client, how do you present yourself? What do you wear? What do you say? What do you do? What do you offer? Why is it that they choose you? And why isn't your website saying that? After all, your website is just an extension of the way you do business. If your website is overselling you, then people are only going to be disappointed when they come and see you. And if it's underselling you, well, they're not going to come and see you. A statistic for you, Zoopla, which is a property search portal like Rightmove, they get one visit every second of every day. So it's great, there's a lot of interest, but with 18,000 agents, you need to stand out to be remembered, and how you present yourself is a very important part of that. Moving on, I'm going to move on to outcomes and clear outcomes. The $300 million button is a true case example. It's a very well-known, very large online retailer. They moved one button to another place on their website and increased their revenue by 45%, which was $300 million over a year. Actually, there was just two buttons on the page, the register button and the checkout button. And by moving the register button, which was putting people off, to after the checkout button, suddenly they felt they weren't put off anymore, because they didn't feel that there was an obstruction before they got to checkout, and it increased their revenue. So it's obviously vital to get the outcomes and actions correct. You wouldn't, if someone came to your office, you wouldn't just let them mill around and hope for the best, open a few drawers and things. You'd ask them what they wanted, and you'd give them the answer, and you'd probably take a few details and follow them up. Your website should be doing this as well. There should be clear questions on your homepage for different types of audiences. It should take them through to sections that are directed especially at them, and with suggestions that they might want to do. And at that point, there should be an action that they need to take, be that calling you or giving you some details or downloading a document. There's no point just having a contact form on the homepage and hoping for the best. It's the intention must be in the right place to get the take-up of inquiries, really. So I've told you a bit about web design and what it is. It's the visual appeal that everyone is an obvious one. It's about usability, presentation, and clear outcomes. But why is it so important? Well, the reason is it's the vehicle by which all aspects of your online presence come together. So all the things you don't see, like the planning, structure, your brand guidelines, the architecture, the development, and ongoing marketing, it's all brought together via the visual appeal, usability, presentation, and clear outcomes of the web design to make a website that works, really, for you. There's a funny story, but it wasn't that funny for the client, it was quite funny for me. They came to a meeting, they came all the way from Yorkshire, sat down, had the proposal, said, I'm very happy with the proposal, I'm confident that you can build a website, but there is one problem I have, and it's the design budget. I think it's too small, and I sort of beamed, delighted, and before Ant could shove me out the door, I sort of wholeheartedly agreed with him and suggested he put it up. Now, it would be a miracle if anyone else came in, sat down and said, I need to up the design budget. But what I'm trying to get at is it really is such an important area that it shouldn't be cut corners on. Finally, you're probably wondering, how do you know if your website, I've done the who, the what, the why, how do you know if your website's got what it takes? Well, you can look at it from your client's perspective. Sit down with a pencil, write down all the things that you say and do when you go and meet someone, and then see if your website is doing that as well. And remember, it's so important that you're not looking at it from your point of view, you're looking at it from your client's point of view. You can take that a step further, ask your clients their perspective, take some of the points that you've written down, turn them into 5 questions, email them to your clients. And this works on 3 levels really. One, what you say to them is when you send it, if all the feedback gets put into a prize draw, and one person will get a bottle of champagne, so there's an incentive for them. But it works on 3 levels. You get great feedback, they feel valued, that you want their opinion, and someone gets a bottle of champagne, which is always good. Finally, you can phone a friend. We're very friendly and nice at Tech, so we can always help you out as well. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoy John's talk.